guests. You got Cody.
And you have Ethan.
And podcast land right now. It's December 30th. We just had Ryan Glitsky on. Pretty much to recap a season.
Yep.
And now we're going to be doing something new, obviously, that we did the last week, and we're going to keep doing this for every guest now. Pretty much what we thought and what we learned from that episode, and like obviously little conversations that we have here.
Right.
So pretty much in Ryan's, he had an eventful start to a season in Maryland, which is, it's so impressive to me when people are able to just go in and just get a buck down right away in the season. It's like he puts a lot of time in. He put a decent amount of time in Maryland. Like he didn't really go down there and scout a bunch, but he was able to harvest that buck. It's like, that's pretty freaking cool, right?
Yeah.
To start right off hot.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, cause just release, because like you go all this time, the spring and summer, you do the scouting, and then like I always, because I know like everyone has like different opinions on it, because it'll kind of like I would say it bugs me a little bit, but when people, because I think we even talked about it, it's like, oh, you shoot a deer early, and then you're like, oh, my season's over. It's like, no,
you still have doe, and
your season's still ain't. Like you got doe tags, and there's so much more to hunt. Now, not everyone's into that stuff, but like, there's so many more things you could do.
Yeah,
so like,
absolutely.
your season's still going. You're just your buck tag is done. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree with that. I mean, we had that conversation in the episode too, where it's like, we do feel that people are saying they tag out when really you have all these other tags. Like you buy doe tags for a reason. Yep. Like it's management. It's the herd management. We are herd managers. We can't say to people when they come, like PETA, for example. If PETA comes to us like, oh, you're trophy hunters. Like, yes, we technically are, because we do let some deer pass if you're to that point in life in hunting, right? So that's technically trophy hunting. You, Ethan, are a trophy hunter because you let little deer walk.
I let the little doe walk, yeah.
If we were pure hunters, we would be shooting that deer because we want the meat. Right.
It moves the dice kind of
right,
deal.
Exactly. So like by letting little ones walk, we are technically trophy hunters, which I mean, so the only way we can defend that is by saying, okay, yeah, I let buck walk to hold out for a bigger buck, but then I want to shoot doe because I want to control the herd. Right. Right. So like you need to shoot doe. That's one thing. You need to shoot doe. Yes. I don't care who you are, you need to shoot doe. I want you to shoot doe. I would rather you see a bunch of doe pictures that you put down and you didn't get a buck. Yeah. Like, personally. Like, honestly. Like, I would love that. Because it's put me in the freezer. You're controlling the herd because there's a lot more doe than there are buck. We talk, like, it's just what it is. And then I think the best part of it was early September, because we were planning on going down to Maryland early September. That's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hot.
I was going to say, oh, man, it's going to be hot. I'm going to be...
Maybe.
We're going to really... Like, you really have to play scent control, because...
Or wind and thermals.
Wind and thermals, 100% more, because, I mean, I know for me personally, like, even when we were in Ohio, second week of October, it was more... I'm walking into the spot, and I'm sweating. Yeah. So I'm like, you can't tell me if the wind isn't right and the thermals aren't right... Those deer, they're going to smell me.
Yes, absolutely.
And they know that's not a good smell. No. They're going to be gone. So to go into Maryland in September, we get really pay attention to that more than
and just normal. Like Ryan did, really, with playing the wind. Like playing that wind in his favor, but also kind of giving it to the buck, which I mean, he knew that buck was in the area, no trail cam data, which is what we're going to try and do down in Maryland. No trail cam data, just like we did in Ohio. No trail cam data other than that guy who got us on camera. But that's it. But, I mean, it was a cool recap of Maryland for Ryan. Yeah. Can't think of a more deserving guy to get a Maryland buck of that nice caliber down in Maryland. Yeah. Like, that was really cool. And then his son getting his first bow buck, like that, man, the emotions, dude. Like, I could feel the emotions Ryan was talking about that.
Oh, yeah. I think he was even more excited talking about that. I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
Because the second you... because once we brought one back to it, and once he started talking about it, I was like, Ryan is very passionate about whitetails in general.
Yeah.
But to hear him talk about his son's
Yep.
first buck, oh man, that took it to a whole new
And to
level.
have everyone there with like that, just man, that like we said, it's just that's what hunting's about right there. And then he wants to take a step back from trail cams altogether, or cell cams, I should say, and just let them soak, which is awesome. Because I think we're gonna get to it, but that's a fun thing to do when you're just going completely blind and going there. Then to have the encounter with that and be able to shoot that buck that he got down in PA, man. Ryan is a great hunter that puts a lot of work in, and it's cool to see when you have all that work come together and come full circle and you're able to put it down. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
So man, couldn't think of a better person to have on the podcast for the recap season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think going back to the cell camera thing, like we were talking, I was like, I have a couple cell cameras. I mean, we all do. We talked about it.
I have 4, 5. One doesn't even work.
And I was thinking, like, why wouldn't I do? Like, I don't care about the only reason I had the cell cameras I have that I'm currently using. Actually, 2 out of the 3 of them are dead. So stupid. But they're on the property.
Yeah.
Right. So I have them, and I just have them because like my dad likes seeing the pictures. Like we share the account, so he can see the pictures. I'm like, yeah, it's cool and all.
Yep.
It's like, and they don't do anything for me. Like I thoroughly enjoy. Like I have all those trail cameras set up with that spot that you found during a rut hunt, where you said you got to go check it out. I have all those cameras
just soaking
there.
Yep.
I get even more excited going in, pulling those SD cards and seeing what's on camera, because then you can be like, okay, I got these deer on camera. And I know, like, okay, and you can break down. I think it's when you have cell cameras, you only look at it day by day.
Yeah, you don't look back
when you have an SD camera or no cameras at all, but like just strictly talking cameras. If you have an SD camera and you have it sit, you get to look at the big picture of like. I mean, granted, it's a small area. You're missing 90% of everything around.
Yeah,
because the camera's only catching. 60 degrees or less
maybe
than that. But when you pull the cards after sitting for months, you look at all of those months.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, so deer showed up at this time frame, they disappeared, they're nighttime here, daytime here. You get to break it down a lot more. You get to get more in depth with it.
Oh yeah.
And then come up with a game plan around like, okay, they're coming in from here. Let's go scout this area. Let's go put boots on the ground over here, expand the reach. When you have cell cameras, I don't think people look at the big picture as much or the long term. They look at that instant, like, oh, I got a picture.
Instant gratification type
at
thing.
6 o'clock in the morning today.
Yep.
Okay, well, what happened the last 3 months?
Yeah.
Well, you don't know because you weren't paying attention.
Well, because the thing I think with that is, you have those cell cams. It sends directly to your phone. So like you'll wake up in the morning, you'll look right at your phone, you'll look at that picture, be like, oh wow, there's a nice buck.
That's what I did.
I mean, and then you just forget about it. You don't like for what we're gonna do next of like this. You don't save it to your computer. You don't save it to a folder. You don't go back and look at it. You don't make notes of it on Onyx. You don't make notes of it anywhere. It's like you said, you just literally look at that time, and you think, okay, what's the wind? What's the weather at that moment when it was sent to me? And then you just kind of forget about it. Yeah. You don't do anything with that information. You just kind of let it go. You think, oh, that's a cool picture. Move on. Now, I'm sure there's other people that do something with that information, but that for the majority of hunters, that's what we do.
Yeah, you just take it day by day with those. Having those SD cameras, you get those months of data that you can actually break down and look into.
Yep. Another cool thing with what Ryan was saying about his Maryland buck, because I find the Maryland buck, well, Maryland and PA were very comparable with how he shot them because he found historical sign in the area that he was able to harvest those deer. So like the Maryland one, he found historical sign in there, found bedding and all that kind of stuff, and he just used his woodsmanship to get in there. Same with the PA one. Like he used what he physically saw instead of using or relying on any trail cameras to do that. Like that to me is like, that's like goals. Like, doesn't matter if it was a big buck, if it was a 6-point, if it was a one-sided 3-point, if it was in Maryland, if it was a spike, like if you use your woodsmanship to get that, it's like, it means 10 times more.
Yep.
Than, I got a cell cam picture. I got we'll do cell cam because like the SD cams, like you have to go physically pull that, check it, then go set up. So like, once again, you're looking through all that information you had on the SD cam compared to your cell cam. It's like, I just got a picture, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
That's not fun to me. It's like, that's telling you what to do. It's pretty much like the world telling you what to do, right?
Yeah.
The cell cam is telling you to go, hey, go sit here.
Go sit
even
here
though
now.
this buck is way over here now.
Yeah, you're already late.
Yeah.
Because the picture's sent to you. You're already late.
Yep. That's why I like, this year was like the first year that I'm actually doing historical, like, let camera soak all year.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're speaking on December 30th right now,
Yep.
on what was that, December 27th,
Yes.
Ethan, James, and myself went to a piece and pulled some cameras, and we got tons of information on that.
Yeah.
Now, this one here, these pictures here are actually pictures I had where I shot my one buck, and wasn't able to recover them, obviously. But I feel like I didn't like look at these. Like I just kind of like skimmed over them just to see if that buck that I hit was ever on camera again. Right. So I didn't really like look at these and be like, okay, this is a daylighting activity, and this is like nighttime. Like I didn't really put it down like when they're hitting the scrape or when they're doing this, like when they're chasing. Like I didn't put any of that stuff down.
Right.
So like I really went back into this today, and I picked out the pictures that I thought were most important. And I put them here, and I put them, I put down the information I had. And then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to look up the historical wind or like the temperature on this date, see if that has any fluctuation on it, because I think that kind of stuff can help you in the long run, especially when you let cameras soak all year long. Like, yeah. I think it's huge. Like, I always thought it was like, I didn't like the long game. I didn't like the fact of thinking about, I got to let these cameras soak all year to be able to get one down.
Yeah,
but like
you're telling me that I'm going to put a camera here, get all these pictures of deer, but not set foot in here and expect me to wait till next year to hunt? Like you would have told me that 2-3 years ago. I've been like, no.
Oh yeah, people told us that 2-3 years ago. I did not listen at all. No. I was like, okay, I'll let it sit there for 2-3 weeks. I'll go check it again.
Yeah, I'll give it a month max, and then I want to go look. It's like, no, the people telling us that stuff, they're on to something here.
Yeah, the longer you let it soak, the better, because it's real time. It's like real untouched data. Like none of these buck on camera, on this camera here, looked at the camera once. And there's a reason why. Because my scent wasn't there. I'm not going in there every couple weeks, every month to check this camera.
Right.
I'm letting it soak. I'm letting it go. I'm not touching it. The only time I'm touching it is when I'm hunting this scrape.
Yep.
So that's literally the only time. So like, I think it's very beneficial to let cameras soak all year. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a firm believer. Now, if I'm down here, if I'm by me, like if I'm 20 minutes or like 10 minutes from it, and I know it's close to the road, or I know it's ag and it's heavily pressured, I'm going to go check because I know it's heavily pressured. I'm not going to be throwing anything off because I already know there's heavy pressure there.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if you want it, I would recommend it. And it helps also when you have a child.
Yeah.
You don't have the free time to go out there, just check them all the time.
Yeah.
So it helps a lot.
So in other words, have kids.
Yeah, just go have kids and then put cameras out. And then,
because then you're forced to not check them.
Because then like that's a huge benefit. Like I have a rough idea right now of like when to hunt certain areas. Mm-hmm. Like the one camera we picked where we had, I think close to 11 buck alone on camera, and there wasn't hardly any doe on camera, but there was 11 buck on camera, and it was like, I know the times to hunt that area from what that camera told me is they're cruising daylighting November 11th to November 13th. So it's like, okay, now pick a tree. And we picked a tree. And it's like, that's one big thing also that Ryan preaches. Like he picks trees out. He already, like the Maryland buck, he was scouting his way in and found that tree on his way in, but he used the wind, and because use the wind to get in there quietly. So that's how he was able to find that tree, get set up, all that kind of stuff. And same with the PA one. He found that beforehand, had pre-hung stands in there, and it's like, bam, like you find the trees. I think once you find the area, you got to find the tree. Like I didn't do that this past year. I plainly admit that. I did not do that this year, and I messed up big time with that stuff because, I mean, the ruck camp, I didn't really have an option to do, like, find my tree.
Yeah.
But, like, also in the woods data, when you're in there and you see the deer or how they move, you just use that for next year. Like, you're in the moment, you're considering it a failure because you didn't get that buck, you didn't get that doe, whatever.
Yep.
You didn't have an encounter. But, like, in all reality, man, like if you're in the big woods and you have a close encounter with a buck or doe, that's a huge accomplishment because it's 90,000 acres, 100,000 acres of just public land, big woods.
Yep.
So it's like if you came that close, came in 60 yards of a buck that you couldn't shoot, like that's
pretty all right.
That's pretty good, especially
that's a step in the right direction.
Right, exactly. So you have that data for next year. It's like, oh, hey, the wind was this way at this time, and he was traveling here. Why was he doing that? So then you got to think like, okay, well, if he's traveling here and the wind's still that way when I go up there next time, it's like I'm going to hunt here next time. So I'm putting myself in a position that possibly can maybe be successful, right?
And I think, and going back to picking a tree out, that's one thing that I didn't do. Well, we did in Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio, we did.
Scout our way in all kinds of stuff.
Yep. Found the tree that morning, hunted it the evening. But Pennsylvania, I didn't do that.
Yep.
And I wish I would have for the rut.
Yeah.
Now, it worked out fine at the end of the day. It worked out just fine.
Yeah.
But if it didn't,
right.
I went out to that one spot where I'd still have a camera soaking there, opening day of archery.
Yep.
I set the camera. I should have picked a tree out
while
that day.
Yep.
And I never did.
Yep.
Because when I went back that Monday to check the camera, if I would have had a tree picked out and I would have, even if I would have had a stand set, even if I set the stand up opening day and let it sit there and then come back, I knew where the wind was coming, right? Like I knew like the thermals would have been going this way. The wind, I knew the direction the wind was coming.
Yeah.
I at least had an opportunity.
Yep.
I would have potentially shot my buck on Monday.
Yeah.
Because I missed him by an hour.
Yeah.
He daylighted one of the bucks.
One of the bucks, yeah.
Daylighted legal.
Yep.
He daylighted an hour before I got there. So I'm like, if I had a tree set up around that general area and I had things going and I was in there dark with playing the wind right, I could have tagged out Monday.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But instead I had to, work it a little harder and then shoot it on Wednesday.
Yeah. Shoot a 9.5-year-old buck.
Yeah.
Instead of
he wouldn't have been
maybe a 3.5-year-old buck.
Yeah.
Right.
Some would have went downhill. Would have been made fun of. You should have shot a more mature deer. Anyway,
I got my results back, but
yeah, you did.
My results, he was 3.5, which
I guessed it right.
I'm pleasantly. Me and my dad even talked about it. It's like that's a good buck for a 3.5-year-old.
Oh, absolutely. He was eating well.
He was like, I wouldn't even like body wise. He was run down. Like he didn't have fat on him, nothing like that. Like he was very run down from the rut. But like rack wise, is like he was a good sized buck.
Yeah.
For a 3.5-year-old deer, especially in this area. Like that was maybe his second legal rack he had.
Yeah, he might have been a small 6 last year.
That's what I was thinking too. Is like I think he may have only ever been a 6 his entire life. If he's,
oh God, imagine it. Let's just say
he already had a good basis too on him.
Let's say you passed him, or just never shot him,
or didn't see him,
Spooked imagine him. 160-inch 5.5-year-old 6-point.
Well, like the funny thing is like
crazy,
dude. Yeah, that would be insane. Like you think about people say 150-inch 8-point is big. I'm like, yeah, that's big.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But like if you had a 130-inch 6-point, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like that thing is massive because it has less bone, but more like just girth.
Just
like it.
Yeah.
the amount, it doesn't have as many points to count to score, but it has more bone.
Yes.
Than a 100-inch 8-point.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
And also, I realized, I guess, I'm not good at guesstimating scores at all because I looked at a picture, like someone kept saying, like, 120-inch, deer, and I'm looking, I was like, man, like that. I mean, that's a good looking buck. Because then I'm looking at mine.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's not 120 inches. Like I didn't think he was.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he might be even small score wise. Like he might be smaller than I think.
Yeah.
I can't judge where shit. I want to get him scored just for my own records. Because then I can be like, okay, this is what this caliber of deer looks like, just for future reference.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he's got to be 115 inches.
Yeah.
He's 100. Looking
he's
at him,
over
I'm
100 inches.
And I'm like, oh yeah, he's over 100. But I was like, he might not even be 115. Just off of things that I've seen.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this might be.
Well, it's because they add girth in there and everything like that.
He is a little thick at the base.
Yeah.
So I was like, he might be smaller than I thought.
Yeah.
Like score-wise.
Score-wise, yeah.
But I'll take it still.
I was, if I got one of the other bucks on camera, I think I would 100% get him scored.
Oh, yeah.
But like this one here, I'm not. There's a whole story on the background of him. It's just like, man. And then to find out that I have him on trail camera too, that's 2 miles away, is like, because I was looking at that, I was like, that's
him.
Because I looked at like the brow tines, they come back. And then his front curls up.
Yep.
I'm like, that's my buck.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck.
There he is.
And it's cool to do that. So trail cam data is huge. For this year and even for years in the future now. Like I love it. Like I'm gonna buy more cameras, just let them soak.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
literally just buy the Tascos. I'm gonna buy. My plan is to buy at least 3 more Tascos this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then I'm gonna buy lithium batteries for inside of them because they only take 4 of them. The Tascos only take 4.
Yep.
And those lithiums will last forever. Put a 16 or even 32 gig in there. Maybe a 16 and just let it soak all year.
Good.
I mean, heck, in that Tasco, and it still does work.
Yeah.
I cleaned it up. I glued the clear case back on the front of it.
Yeah.
I super glued it back on. I fired it back up. Turns right on. Dude,
man,
that bears do not stand a chance against Tasco trail cam. Nope. Tasco's versus bear. Tasco's going to wins. But yeah, so fix that. So I have that back, and I have those cameras over there yet. Yeah, I think those Tascos, those small Tascos with 4 lithium batteries in, 16 gig, I think it'd, be fire. Like, at least 9 months, right? Because that's how long it took.
100%.
Check it. But, yeah. So, now, these are the cameras that I pulled. I pulled these the first week of rifle. So, the Saturday when I went out there and jumped those deer,
right,
I pulled this camera down completely.
Okay.
So, it was... When would that be? That would be December 7th. Yeah, because I shot him on the 11th.
Yeah.
December 7th. So I pulled these down. So, 11-1, this guy comes by. But then my buck that...
He said it again.
I said it. Fuck.
It's only your buck if you kill it.
Nope, you're right. So he daylights... October 7th at 8:11 a.m. This is the first time I've seen him actually hit a scrape. Like, every other time he just walks by it.
That's a nice picture.
So, and this one here, he looks right up. Like, he looks bigger.
Because you showed me a picture of him. I don't remember when it was.
I have that on my phone, actually.
Was it September?
No. It was October.
Because I remember you showed me a picture of him, and the proportion, maybe it could be the angle, because he was facing
it was straight on, though.
But the angle of like rack to body, just didn't make sense.
No, it did not.
Yeah, he almost looked like a 2.5-year-old deer.
So this is October 15th.
Okay.
And that's, like, in that picture, he just looks small.
Yeah, like a skinny, like his stomach is skinny and...
Yeah, because right there, he's standing up. October 15th.
Yeah, like that doesn't look...
He doesn't look big.
No.
So, like, and that was, he had a doe.
Yeah.
So October 15th. So like October 7th, he goes up, hits this primary scrape when it's still thick in there, when it's still green, early October, which I still have to figure out what the temp was in here. But I have all this marked down. So every picture I have named as like the date, the time, and which buck it was.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what this folder is. And then there he is again, October 10th. So, but this time it's at 7 o'clock at night.
And he looks skinnier.
He does.
Like he's losing
a little bit.
Yeah, his neck still looks.
Right. But yet also like it could just be his rack, dude. Like that's what I'm thinking too, is like his rack makes him look small.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking too. But there, he gets up there and he starts hitting that. So
that is cool.
Note this time. So 723, 722. Oh, I didn't save the other one. But there's a doe that runs by here first at 719. Sprinting.
Oh, he was probably chasing.
So, yep, that's my thought, is that there's a hot doe that comes in beginning October.
That is
insane.
Unheard of.
I know. But I'm thinking this is a good date, October 7th. Whatever falls on, I have to look at the calendar, but whatever it fell on, I have to go back and I have to see what's going to fall on next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to be in there, dude. I'm going to hunt that scrape this early.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And this right here is my buck.
Oh, yeah, you got the curves and the... Is he... What day is that? Because his mouth's open.
This is the 31st.
He's chasing.
Yep.
Because his mouth's hanging wide open.
Yep.
He's moving.
So that right there is the buck that I shot.
Now you could say that's your buck.
Yep, that's my buck.
You could say that one.
And that guy there is probably his grandfather.
Is that oh, no, there's brow tines.
No, he is just a massive, like that is a 130-inch buck.
Yeah, that's so thick.
It might even be bigger than that, but yeah.
7:30 in the morning.
And then there's, again, 11:18. I said I have to bleep that out.
You do. There you go.
There's another one comes through, 11:19 at 6 a.m. So that was at 5:32 in the morning. He came through. Then one at 6 the next day. And then 11:23, which is bear, I believe.
Yeah, that's bear.
4:30. So this is the funny part.
Okay.
I just realized this. So remember how I had that video of those bucks that ran by the camera after I jumped them?
Right. Yeah.
This is the bachelor group.
Yeah?
That's the big one.
Yeah.
There's my 6.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't save that ones. But, wait, did I? Yep, there's
a little one.
The little one. And there's another one that comes with him. So they're all the same date within. So that was 5:15. That little one comes by. 5:41. My buck comes by.
Half hour later.
4:30 p.m.
An hour before everyone.
Yep.
So they're all hanging around together in the same general area.
So that 11:23 time frame, that group bachelored up.
Yeah.
That early.
So you found an early rut spot.
An early rut spot.
Like second week of October early.
But you can see his curl right here.
Yep.
Curled up. Yep. So 2 miles from where I shot him.
That's where they're chilling.
And I know where they're going.
Yeah.
So he comes by again, December 3rd. And that's 11:19. 11:02. So I didn't think he was actually in that area at all.
Yeah, because after this
I
date,
thought he was. I thought
gone.
October 15th, he was gone.
Yeah,
but it seems like he goes one area, and then he comes back to this area. So I'm in his home range.
Yeah,
I think.
Oh, 100%, 100%. You're in it. You're in it.
And then this guy just saved because look how fat he is.
Like
he has a small rack, but look how fat he is.
Yeah, like that reminds me of mine.
Yeah.
Body-wise.
But that was October 29th.
So that's like beginning of what
that's like when the rut just starts. So where is he feeding that he's getting that fat? Like he, compared to every other buck, look at him. Look at him. Even.
That's a good body, though.
That might be him. I don't know. See, I think those two right there
Yeah.
are somehow blood related.
You think so?
Yeah. Look at
Yeah. I'm sure they are.
But that dude, like, that's not one I had on camera before, and he just looks fat.
It's a beefy boy.
Like, he looks like a corn-fed deer.
But how many pictures of him do you have?
Just one.
Because
so
that's
just
2:00 in the morning.
right.
So, I mean,
I'm not worried. I literally
just
just saved it because I thought he was so fat.
Oh, yeah. And if he shows up again next year, be like, oh, well, he comes around
Yeah.
every once in a while.
Yep. But then, so then all this data right here, like, this is the kind of data that I love seeing now. So I know when they're cruising this area because I have him on here, 11-1 at 7:30 a.m. I have another picture of him that he's going right up. He's right up in this area. So he's cruising. And his mouth is open. He's cruising. My Buckeye shot's cruising. Like, it makes me wonder, like, where was that one at? Which one was that? This guy. That buck was in the area when I shot my 6-point.
Yeah.
He was.
He could have been. You didn't get a chance to look at because you said when you shot your 6, one ran off.
I know that one was there. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
And there was one further to the left that I just saw the ass.
That could have been him.
I think it was him.
If it's the same group.
Yep.
So, yeah, he was there.
Yeah. I think he was kind of leading the way, kind of.
Yeah.
And so.
That's the leader.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we'll end it with being on this buck.
Yes.
But, yeah, I mean, I think all this historical data is freaking awesome. Like, I love it. Like, I love historical data now. Now the stuff that I found from this past year when you and I went in.
Yeah.
James, and I.
There you go.
Went in there. I think that stuff's going to come in handy. Like, for, say, like, early season, this doesn't help out. Just doesn't work out the same way.
Right.
Then, I have those other areas that I'm like, okay, this right here produces. Because, like, we found out that, what was it, like, early October even in that area was mid-October?
That one area, like the second week, they were daylighting, just walking through.
Nonstop.
Yep.
And then also that 11th to 13th right in that area as well is good. So, I mean, historical data is huge, and I think running SD cams is 10 times better than running cell cams.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, we do have some. Total, we probably have, between you and I, we probably have, how many? 8?
Probably.
Because I have 4.
I might have like 6 or 7 by myself.
Oh, geez. Okay.
But I only have 3 out.
Yeah.
Only one's working. The rest are dead. But honestly, I have, other than like getting that instant gratification of a picture and like.
Doesn't do anything for you.
It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
Plus, where I put cameras, 9 times out of 10, I don't have cell service anyway.
Yeah.
So I might just. I don't know why I can't figure. I don't know. I have to ask you how to do it. Like, just run them as a regular SD camera.
I think if you just turn them on and go, I think they'll just start working. Like, you have to activate it and put it out.
Yeah.
And, like, pay for a month of it and then let it go out. And then it should just keep taking pictures.
Yeah, you just won't get them.
Yeah, you just won't get them sent to your phone.
Okay.
So that's all you got to do. But, yeah.
Because if not, I'm just going to probably get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, you could sell them probably, too, and get money back and then just buy some good Tascos.
Yeah, I'll just keep the SD ones. I don't know. I just like them better anyway.
Easier. Just flick them on.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Yeah.
It makes life better.
Any final words for the listeners, Ethan?
Well, late season's here.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yep.
I ain't going out. Maybe for some squirrels.
I'll be out this weekend. I'm going up north this weekend.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, yes.
I'll go shoot some squirrels maybe here.
Yeah,
I got 2 months to shoot some squirrels, fill my freezer with some squirrel meat, and then, man, I'm getting ready to go fishing.
Yeah, I'm kind of ready. Like, I don't want deer season to end, obviously, but yet also I'm kind of ready for it to end, so like I can stop thinking about it. Glad I got a buck, so I don't have to like keep stressing about it.
Yep.
That's definitely one thing. But yeah, it's just the new year is here. It's going to be a good year. 2025, going to have a new president in office.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. I know we're not a political podcast, but
goodbye, Creepy Joe.
Goodbye, Creepy Joe. I was thinking of what do they say? Go Brandon. Go Brandon.
Go Brandon. Yeah. Go Brandon.
So we might lose some listeners with that, but I don't really care. But yeah, good luck 2025. Let's start out with a bang. Get some turkey down first. Let's go get some fish.
Ooh.
And then we'll go do some scouting. And then it'll be here before we know it, honestly.
Yeah.
It'll be here and be gone before we know it.
Oh, and then the Great American Outdoor Show.
Oh,
that's
God.
not
We'll
even 2 months.
We'll be there at least one day.
That's not even 2 months away.
And the farm show.
And the farm show.
Oh, can't wait to get some milkshakes.
Oh, yes.
And some deep fried veggies.
Deep fried Oreos.
I don't eat deep fried Oreos.
No, deep fried
I'll just stick with the regular Oreos.
Deep fried Twinkies.
No. God, no. All right, everyone. Remember to keep hunting.
Keep fishing.
And enjoy the freaking podcast. Enjoy the freaking process.
And the podcast.
Yeah, see ya.